welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a couple of projects for the hardest man to shop for in your life, which is usually your father. I used some wood pieces that I found on the side of the road where somebody was cutting a fence. They're brand new, but I'm going to go ahead and age them up, and the first thing I'm using is Chalk Country Finishes Country Road. I wet the wood down a little bit with my brush and then brush over it kind of like a stain. And you can see on the second part of the wood where I didn't add the wetness, it kind of scrapes across the top. So it's better to wet it down when you're first, painting it and everything like that. All I did was take these two little pieces and a third piece behind the back and screwed it down to make this little sign frame, whatever you want to call it. And I drilled 2 holes in the top of it. Thank you for watching Ivycreates. Please subscribe, share, leave comments. I want to know what you think about my projects. So now I am going around the outside edges because I actually work in a flower shop as a designer, and they say cover your work. And I think it's true with any of the art that I do, including my painted canvases. I paint around the outside edges so you don't have to worry about a frame. The next color I am putting on is Chalk Country Finishes Country Flannel, and that is just to add a bit of blue to it. And again, we're doing this to age this wood, and we just want to, it can be very haphazard. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to age the wood. Now I'm going to do the Country Snowfall, and the thing about the Country Snowfall is this is a thicker paint, and I want it to be thick. I waited till these other paints were dry, which they were thin and watered down. So I'm going to use a dry brush, and I'm just going to use the cap and to kind of put it in, and then I'm going to very gently and very lightly at an angle hold my brush and drag it all the way across the board from one side to the other. And I'm going with the grain, of course, on this. So you'll see in just a second, and there's, you want to just kind of drag it, and there's going to be a big deposit of paint when you first go down. So drag it very, very lightly, and then you can always go back over it. And the thing to do is not start and stop in the center of the wood. You don't want to do that. You want to go completely from one side to the other so it doesn't look all disjointed and it looks like it's something that you just got that's old and had already been painted a few times. So that's the trick to making it look old and not too overdone. So I'm using a very small amount of paint, and it comes off usually when I first do it, and not going straight up and down. I'm going at an angle and with the grain. So you can see I'm just pouring on a little bit more paint to finish up. And also, each time that I do this, I start on one side and then I go to the other side whenever I start my next layer. So you can see I started on one side, and then I'll change sides to bring it across to the other. And next time I'll start it on the different side, and that's just to even out the paint a little bit. You don't want it totally even, but you also don't want it to look like it's completely uniform, being all on one side. You want it to be more random, and that's the look that I'm going for in the aging process. So you can add little bits here and there. It's entirely up to you, but like I said, it looks better if you go from one end to the other. Okay, so the next part of our aging on our wood is, after this is fairly well dry, you want to take a sanding block of some sort, but you want to make sure it's dry first. Take a sanding block and then start sanding the edges a little bit, because the edges were very crisply cut, so you want to make it kind of rounded a little. You could have done this before you painted or after. I prefer after, because I like the aged look where you can see a couple of, like down to the bare wood kind of thing. So I was sanding all the edges just to make sure they're not sharp, and I found a few staples, so I go ahead and remove the staples. and just use your needle nose pliers to remove the staples. In case you didn't see the beginning, we are doing a bottle cap project for Father's Day. We're going to be doing two, one for the more adult person and then one for maybe a child to do with help of an adult. So please stay tuned to the end of this where you can see the final product pictures. Those are always lots of fun. And I put a few extra bonus pictures at the end as well. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave comments below and let me know what you think. If you have any questions about any of the products I use, they'll be listed in the description. So after sanding, I'm just taking a dry brush and brushing off the residue left by sanding. So you can see it looks pretty well aged now. It doesn't look like brand spanking new wood. So I'm going to start laying out my design, and you can do any design you want. And I found this to be so easy to do and lots of fun to do as well. It does take a little bit of time, but it's like putting a puzzle together. So you just connect all of your bottle tops until you decide what you like. In this case, I used a Pinterest picture in order to inspire me, and I looked at several of theirs, and I just looked at what they did on Pinterest and decided this is what I wanted to do. So it's not the same, but I did look up crabs on Pinterest done with bottle tops. And of course, everybody, when you do your art, it's going to be very different than whoever else did theirs. It might have some similarities. That's to be expected. But inspiration is about taking something and making it your own. So please feel free to check out some ideas on Pinterest. They don't always have to come straight out of your head. You can actually take something and tweak it, make it your own, and then you've got a cool design. So this is my crab design that I was working with. That was where I was going to start. And so I decided he had to move a little bit because he was not centered or where I wanted him on my board. And I will be using a glue gun to glue all of these bottle tops down. Now, I will tell you this, if you are going to be putting this outside, you may also want to use some E6000 or Gorilla Glue or something of the sort in addition to the glue gun or instead of. Because glue gun sometimes tends to pop, the glue pops when it goes in different temperatures or weather. So it's a good idea to go ahead and use an additional glue as well. So you can see I'm just gluing them down, putting them wherever I want them, making sure that they've got plenty of glue underneath the edges, because these bottle tops I haven't really done anything with. Some of them I squeezed and made them half size, some of them I flattened, but these are just the original bottle tops. I hope you're enjoying today's project. It was I'm not advocating alcoholism in any shape or form by having all these bottle tops. I did ask a friend of mine who's a bartender to save them for me, and that is what she did. She saved all the bottle tops that I wanted and gave me several cups of them, so I may be doing other projects as well. But yes, you know, this is a man cave kind of project that you can put in your father's man cave or whatever you want to do, or your husband's, however it tends to be. So it's just something a little different, and it's for the man who absolutely has everything and you have nothing that you could possibly buy for him. So you got to make him something. My dad is wonderful. He is my hero. He can build anything. He can make anything. He can. And when I say build anything, it doesn't matter if it's a car or a house or a pipeline to a plant or tools or what have you in a tool shop or machine shop. He's amazing. So he can fix anything and build everything. And that's wonderful to me, is a very admirable trait. He's a jack of all trades and a master of everything. I always love that if I have a question about anything, all I have to do is ask, and he will have the answer. So you can see now that I've decided what I'm doing. I'm just kind of moving things out of the way, making sure they're well glued, and you'll see where I'm going towards this. I used the Bud Light beer tops for the body. This is a blue crab, which is what we have here down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So I used the bottle tops for the Bud Light, and the arms I used the Corona lids, and for the claws that was also Budweiser King of Beers, and then I also used some gold Budweiser too, bottle tops for the legs. So you can see I'm starting to make the legs, and when you take the bottle cap, you can take your needle nose pliers and just kind of bend it with your needle nose pliers until it curls in together, and that's what makes our smaller sizes for the bottle caps. Here you can see me bending one right now. I hope you're enjoying the video. Please leave comments below. Tell me what you think. Tell me about the projects you would like to see. I'm always willing to try new things and learn new things so I can teach others. That is my biggest thing, is I love to learn new things and I love to teach. So if you have any ideas, I have some more ideas of other things I might like to do with bottle caps. Where I got this from is actually a local daiquiri shop in Long Beach, Mississippi. They're good friends of ours, and it's down on the beach. So I was thinking that I might do a couple of art pieces for them since they were so generous with their bottle caps. And I had maybe a seahorse in mind, maybe some other sea creatures that I could make, maybe an octopus if I could come up with something for that. But it would have to be on a larger scale. It would definitely have to be bigger. So lots of different things. These also are red, white, and blue, so they make for like a really cool looking American flag if you wanted to do something like that. Easily could do that with these. Now you can also visit me on Facebook. I'm under Deanna Carroll or Ivycreates. There's a few different pages that I manage and take care of, and you're welcome to join and follow. That would be wonderful. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please share. Share to anybody you think would find this pretty neat and that they might like some of my projects. You can go through my projects and see all kinds of good stuff. So I wasn't quite satisfied with the way that it looked, so I started crushing some, just flattening some more bottle tops, and ended up using a lot of flattened ones on top. And I can't really show you because on this table is not a good place to hammer. I have to hammer off to the side on another table. So that's what I did, is I would pull them out. You know, you pull out all the little pieces on the bottom of the bottle cap, and then you just hit it with a hammer and flatten it out. Which I may go outside today and flatten a bunch more. So I think it'll be easier out there. So you can see I'm just kind of pushing these out in order to get it straight and to be able to flatten it, and then I take the hammer and flatten it further, and it comes out a little disc. So these I had put on top of the other ones, and I'm just, you know, our blue crabs have big forearms and big shoulders that look like almost like muscles, so I flattened out some more Coronas, put those on top, and then some more Bud Light ones to put on the body of my crab. And I'm just going to glue them down real quick with the glue gun. I hope you're enjoying this project. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. It really is. And came out so stinking cute. I just love it. There are many different ways and shapes and forms you can make crabs. I probably will experiment a little bit more with this if I ask the bartender to maybe save me some more bottle caps. These also make for good shingles, like on a birdhouse. You can put them on the roof, or I'll tell you what, one thing we like to do is we like to use old car tags as our roofs for our birdhouses, and then you can shingle the sides to make it really cute with a bunch of bottle caps. Now you can see a little bit closer, give you a better idea of what it looks like. So the next part of what I'm doing here is I decided that it really needed to be framed, and I wanted to use the bottle caps to frame it. So just like when I was making the claws and the eyes and the legs, I'm going to kind of bend my bottle caps, and I wanted them kind of random, not all matchy-matchy. So I'm bending the bottle caps, but not all the way like I did in the claws and the eyes. Just enough to where it fits around the outer edge of my wood pieces to kind of frame it up. So I'm holding it with my needle nose pliers while I glue it, because it can be very hot and you can burn your fingers pretty easily when you're doing that. So that's why I'm holding it with needle nose pliers. Once it sticks, I just let go and go on to my next piece. And strangely enough, they turned out rather easily to fit all the bottle caps that I needed to fit evenly on these pieces of wood. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And on the one that I was over just a tiny bit, I was able to bend the piece under the bottle cap to make it fit. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Leave the comments below. I do read them and respond as quickly as I can. And I am so glad to be back doing videos, because, I mean, to be honest, this Mother's Day kicked my backside. I mean, just really kicked my butt. So, it was the strangest holiday. And I grew up in a flower shop, and it was the strangest holiday I've ever been through. So now I'm taking a little piece of MDF board. This is the back of a Dollar Tree sign, and I'm just going to cover it and with some green, and I put a little bit of water on my brush to make a background for my next project, which is going to be Dad's beer garden. So as I was saying, Mother's Day was the weirdest holiday. Usually Mother's Day is a week before the actual day. You get deliveries all week. But this time it was the week before, the week after, and the week after that. We still had Mother's Day orders coming through. Strangest thing I have ever seen in my life. I'm over 50 and I grew up in a flower shop, and I would know it's the weirdest holiday ever, and it literally killed me to do. So I wasn't able to do any videos because honestly all I could do was come home and go to bed because I was too exhausted. So I'm glad to be back doing videos, and I hope that you guys are glad to have me back. So now I'm going to be bending some of our bottle tops to make Dad's beer garden. And this is basically, I really probably should have used a larger background for this, but this is what I had, so that's what I'm using. And I'm going to be making a couple of flowers out of the bottle tops and just a little sign for Dad. And you can get all this together, you can help your kids make it, you can make it yourself, however you want to do it. So you can see I'm just bending all of my bottle tops and getting them all together. I've seen things like this done before. Most of the time they end up painting the actual bottle tops, but I didn't want to do that because I like the way these look. So I left them their natural color. So you can see it's just a matter of laying out the pattern that you want and then gluing it down. If you have any questions or want to see a different type of project, please let me know. Leave me a comment. Check out the products below if you want to know what I'm using. You can do that and have lots of different items that you could use. Check out my Facebook at Deanna AC or Deanna Carroll or Ivycreates. Ivycreates, the name, comes from my daughter's name is Ivy. And nobody remembers my name. Nobody would know how to spell my name in addition to that. So that is another reason for naming it something simple like Ivycreates. Ivycreates is also now on Patreon. I'm getting started with the Patreon, and I hope to have some really cool things going on there, so check it out. I hope that this inspires you and challenges you to go find your gifts. I truly believe that everybody has a gift, whether it be a gifted accountant or a gifted singer. It is a gift. There are things that you do that are special, that nobody else can do like you do them. So even if you were to straight go to, say, a Pinterest page and copy a picture, it would never be exact as that picture. It's going to be always uniquely yours because you're going to do something that is uniquely you. So my goal is to help you find your gifts, help you move forward with that, and help you to be a little bit more creative and think of items differently. So I hope that you enjoy these projects as much as I enjoy bringing them to you. I really do. And your support, it really helps me continue on and think that I'm moving on the right track. So this is basically how they're going to look when I get them all glued down. Now, as I said, I'm just using a glue gun. If this was to go as an outside thing, I would not be using MDF board, and I would also be using something like Gorilla Glue Outdoor or E6000, one of those things, which are in the links below. I went to Dollar Tree the other day and I found they had some giant bottle caps, so just for decoration, so I plan to use those in the future as well. I thought this project came out super cute. I'm going to show you some of the hard and the easy parts of what I did. I didn't feel like that it had enough separation on the bottom, so I went ahead and added some darker green. Then I'm using a soft pastel pencil. And the reason for this is if you change your mind, like I frequently do, before I commit to it, I can always wipe it off. And I'll show you that in just a second when I do change my mind about that, because I did the Dad's Beer Garden and I did garden at the bottom, and I thought, well, I don't like how disjointed that feels. It just didn't feel right. So then I started playing around with where to put more lettering, which I gotta tell you, my lettering skills are really bad. I have horrible handwriting, self-admittedly. But I do try, and I have been trying to letter for a long time, but it's never pretty. So maybe your lettering will be better than mine. And I'm just, like I said, I'm using a soft pastel pencil just to write it out. And you can see where I kind of scratched out what I'd written above. And the way that I'm going to get rid of that is very simply, I'm going to take my, after I add the black, which this is me committing to these where these are written. So that's why I'm putting the black on there. So after I do that, I'm going to go into my stirring cup, the one that I use to get the paint off my brushes, whatever. And I'm going to add water, and that is how I will get rid of the little bits of chalk that I have left over after I smeared it out. So by putting the black on, I can just make sure that that's in place. And that's where my lettering is going to go. And, you may find stickers or something of the sort that would help you with the lettering, just to put the letters down there. I just did it by hand and painting. So now you can see I'm using some of my dirty paint water, literally, to just kind of wipe over where I had the chalk stuff and get rid of it. And it's okay, I do it all the time. I use dirty water, and it's usually similar to the color of whatever I'm doing anyways, so it works out. Don't ask me why, it just does. So I'm drying that off again so you don't see any of the chalk or anything. And I didn't think there was quite enough contrast with the greens and stuff that I had, so I decided to add some sky to it. And I added some white and some blues to make it look a little bit more like sky. And I'm just going to dab this. I've got my line brush, and I'm just dabbing this, kind of onto the canvas, or I should say the MDF board, and just dabbing it to give it some differentiation between the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some blue. Thank you so much for joining me today and spending your time with me. I really do appreciate you. Please don't forget to leave me a comment, like and share, and also subscribe. I would really appreciate it. The more subscribers, the better. But I want you to be here because you want to be here. And I'm very glad that you've stayed with me. So I'm just adding some red color now to my lettering on top of my black. And so a little bit of the black will peek through behind and make a lower light for my lettering. So here are the final product pictures. I've got my beautiful crab, which I thought came out fabulously. And then my dad's beer garden. Hi, did you click that subscribe button and the notification bell? Well, if you don't hit that notification bell, you will miss out on our Thursday videos. So please go ahead, click it, and you'll be able to watch our videos that are coming up.